impacts from the WPC. Kind of has minor impacts. It is interesting how, as you go to the coast, though, those impacts go to the low range, which is still pretty minor. But I think that makes a little more sense because the low might be able to wind up a little bit more closer to the coast, and that's usually an area where if there's going to be a burst of snow, that could happen. I'm curious, though, how much melting did you guys have today? We were the warmest we've been since last Wednesday, and even with the cloud cover, there was substantial melting going on today. How's the melt going on in the Triad right now?
I would say it is well underway. A lot of those, I think Greensboro said 68% of the secondary roads are now cleared. And so that's probably helping out the crews, despite the cloud cover that we had. You know, the temperatures were warm. And as Tim has taught me, he said, watch the dew point. If it's above freezing, then that's going to really encourage melting and melt the snow pretty quickly.
Yeah, and it really was. It was getting the mid-upper 40s down this way. It was wet snow, and I could just tell. It's always, you can tell the melting's going on when I go outside. I can hear the downspout, the dripping of water coming off the roofs. It's a telltale sign that, you're melting it off the roofs. You're doing a pretty good job. Talk a little bit about the refreeze, because I mentioned this too. I mean, even if we have rain, we're expecting some pretty good rain down here tomorrow. We're going to melt a lot of snow, but we have these giant piles of snow in parking lots everywhere, on the side of the road. There's still going to be piles of snow around this weekend, and we are going to get back below freezing by several degrees, I think, Friday and Sunday morning. So what are you thinking about as far as refreeze and black ice going into the weekend for anything that's left over?
I would say anything that's wet as we start to drop those temperatures drastically, especially maybe with that second punch of colder air coming in as we go towards the weekend. You're going to have to watch for refreezing there. So we're not out of the woods yet. I mean, until all of that snow disappears and until all of the wet roads disappear, you're going to have that chance for black ice. And if we get significant melting where it's just like rapidly melting, massive puddles, almost small lakes and parking lots, things like that, then that's really going to be an issue as we start to refreeze towards the weekend.
Yeah, and I'm really worried too because we did this in our neighborhood. A lot of people are piling up snow on the curb and near the storm drains. You probably want to clear that out a little bit so the water can get into those areas, because those piles could block the runoff and actually, like you said, create these little lakes and puddles that then become big sheets of ice. So, these piles are popping up everywhere. I'm kind of curious to see how long we're going to go with these piles. There's always a couple places up north where they remove the snow and dump it somewhere, and they keep track of how late into the spring the pile lasts. There's going to be some pile somewhere. It's going to be the nastiest, dirtiest looking snow, and it's going to be sitting there for like 2 weeks. I actually had to look up the longest stretch of measurable snow on the ground at the airport, and it's like 16 days here in Charlotte, which is wild to think. But if we get to 10, I think that puts us in the top 10 for number of days with something on the ground. So that'll be a fascinating stat to follow. That's Kannapolis on our camera right now. It's so true, because that's right on the Cabarrus, Rowan County line. Those piles are huge, and you can tell. They cleared the streets great, but those are giant piles. And
they're taller than trucks.
Yeah, I mean, up north they would come in and truck this out and remove it, but here it's just going to sit there and it's going to have to melt. So that's what I'm talking about. That pile there will not melt for another probably week or so. We'll see that next week at this time.
Should we start a clock?
Yeah, we should be out. We could have a countdown clock on the pile melt. But Alex, talk a little bit about the Clash. I know they got postponed once because of weather. A lot of NASCAR fans down in our area as well. What are your thoughts about that? Have you heard anything? Like, what is the kind of make or break for them to be able to get this going tomorrow night? Or I mean, not tomorrow night, but Thursday.
Yeah, I knew what you meant. Yeah, and you were actually right. It is tomorrow night. So tomorrow night's when they rescheduled the Clash. And so what we're hearing is it's gonna happen. Rain. They said they have wet tires that they're able to use and race in for these types of conditions. And even with the snow, I mean, with it trending later, that's even better. Yeah. But they're all gung ho. They're excited for fans to come. They've cleared the parking lots. The track is looking great, and they even cleared the grandstands, so it should be a great time of racing here in the Triad.
Yeah, I saw they even had drivers helping to clear out some of the stands. I thought that was great. That's great. So the fans aren't going to be sitting in snow. They're actually going to be able to enjoy it on some night. So that's tomorrow. I mean, we got to get this going because Daytona's not too far away. I mean, people want to get this racing so we can get NASCAR going again.